trustless, 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 trustless.
But wait, there's more.
Okay, yes, that gets us pumped. Pump it up. All right, with that, I'm going to welcome on stage Charlie Hu, visionary blockchain entrepreneur, co-founder of Bitlayer, the pioneering Bitcoin evolution with the first security equivalent layer 2 solution based on the BitVM paradigm. Charlie Hu, welcome him to the stage right now for a very special introductory keynote. Come on down.
Thank you, Shira. A lot of old friends. Another year, another East Denver. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Great to be another time the Orange Children host in the Ethereum event. We have a lot to talk about. A lot of things happened last 12 months. I have great panels today and amazing another keynote from Indonesia as well. A lot of good builders. So today we want to talk about what happened last 12 months. We've been working on the BitVM technology. We're working on our L2 solution in the last 14 months. We literally start speeding up our journey last year, literally here in East Denver. So yeah, I will start our panel, as our keynote. So the journey started from 2023. I was first week on Ordinals. I learned a lot about all the meta protocols. I was having a lot of fun inscribing all the inscriptions, all these Bitcoin primitive, especially rare sets, bitmap, all these were very amazing stuff. I educate a lot of people what is Bitcoin ordinals and stuff. So that was a really interesting moment. I brought a lot of the culture, especially the builder culture back, right? Bitcoin has mostly the miners-driven culture, right, in the last 15 years. A lot of miners I know for many years. And because of ordinals in 2023, there was just nonstop of interesting conversation. What we can do with Bitcoin, right? And then the more we were being inscribing all this UTXO on chain, the more we realized, the UX was pretty bad. A lot of hard-earned Bitcoin was getting burned. And 2 years ago, I think 2 years ago was a very interesting vibe that literally during the Token 24 in Singapore, September 12th, when Domo was on the stage talking about the journey of BRC20, that was a pivotal moment for me to talk about what we can scale Bitcoin, what we can do to get rid of all this garbage UTXO on Bitcoin L1 to bring this new layer of programmability. So that was kind of the moment we started doing research about all the things. BitVM white paper came out 1 month after, and interestingly, all these BRC20 assets start really having the rally. So that was kind of the journey, right? Basically, the background, Bitcoin sits on around $2 trillion of assets. Ethereum has this crazy 7 years of DeFi summer, right? I was early in the DeFi summer in Ethereum, and later on I joined Polygon, was building a lot of ecosystem for them. Last cycle was amazing with a lot of DeFi protocol, really hit some interesting product market fit, right? There's a lot of Ethereum folks now having issues with liquidity fragmentation. There's so many Ethereum L2s and trying to fight for the liquidity, right? Whereas Bitcoin, so much liquidity has been sitting on the cold wallet doing nothing in the last 15 years. We've been talking to a lot of miners, a lot of Bitcoin whales, some of them actually already supporting us with liquidity. They've been kind of confused on a lot of things, right? In the beginning, some of them actually were big naysayer about ordinals as well. Right? Eventually, they realized there's a lot of interesting fees they got. So some of them really changed their mind. So it's a huge asymmetric opportunities on that. So that's kind of our journey, right? So since we start Bitlayer in 2023, we've been deep dive on research side. We educate a lot of people about all these size systems and potential L2s, and all the trust assumptions, the importance to have trust minimized bridge, and also what is BitVM. We established the BitVM Asia community, which a lot of people actually get to know what is this new technology, and being heads down working on that since then. So last year after East Denver, we actually launched our V1 mainnet, and since then we have done a lot. So that's kind of the technology framework we're focusing on, right? We want to make sure we have the programmability, right? So all these smart contract layer with DeFi protocols, We want to have this layer of programmability, which is EVM compatible, eventually will be multiple VM compatible. And we want to have this Bitcoin security equivalent, right? Eventually, transaction with proof can settle on Bitcoin natively. So that's the difference. Ethereum layer 1 has the built-in programmability already, right? So all these like fraud proof, optimism rollup, and ZK proof, it's already happening. In the last 7 years, quite a lot of the ZK proofs or optimism rollups already battle tested with millions of transactions. Whereas Bitcoin, so far we don't have the native real Bitcoin rollup yet. It's still in the work in progress, right? I think a few teams, including Bitlayer, we are getting close to delivering that. There's a lot of momentum going on with the BitVM, especially on the verifier side. So the BitVM paradigm, for the people who actually don't know, there's been a lot of research, a lot of evolution already. So start from BitVM 1, which focus on the verifier, and then quickly move on to the BitVM 2, focus on Bitcoin trust minimized bridge. We have a pretty interesting announcement we're going to make later today, so stay tuned. So the BitVM bridge, how it works, is basically using a Bitcoin script to verify, have this two-way peg-in, peg-out kind of, UTXO bridging. So we can kind of frame in a way it's a new generation of Bitcoin bridging solution. Wrapped Bitcoin, which we all know, right? Start from 2018. It's essentially a federation of a multi-sig signer. BitGo, Kyber Network, RAN, and quite a few teams have been openly talking about this. Recently, there's some interesting news, which is concerning for some of the people. They changed some of the ownership. So some of the players, which are very controversial, are actually owning majority of the signing ownership on WBTC right now. One of them is the creator of Tron. So there's a lot of controversy about that. So I don't think we're going to have this end game. There's a small set of people have this multi-sig signing, and WBTC sits on hundreds of billions of dollars of TVL, right? I don't think that's the end game for the Bitcoin bridging solution. So we want to have more trust minimized solution. So that's the reason we want to delivering the BitVM bridge. The bridge, once we launched, that's a very important way to have the open gateway, right, to empower more DeFi. Basically, activating more Bitcoin liquidity to enter all kinds of yield products. We have some amazing, DeFi use case speakers going to share about what they're designing. So the key two products we're working on, right? The Bitcoin BitVM bridge is upcoming. We have a testnet version already launched since last December. We have 5 amazing chains we're working with, and the rollup. The rollup is one of the probably the most ambitious, ambitious technology the space wants to deliver. It's an interesting way to make a comparison. In Ethereum, one of the most ambitious technology in the last 7 years was ZK rollup, right? So there was like ZK EVM, a few other teams, including Polygon, ZK Sync, Stocknet, and ZK Sync that have been doing that. BitVM is, I would say, it's even more technical ambitious because there's a lot of limitation and caveat using Bitcoin script without depending on soft fork to deliver this ZK proof, and verified on Bitcoin natively. So there's a lot of like optimization we're still working on, especially through the stock approach with the chunker to lower down the cost without sacrifice too much of the Bitcoin security. And yeah, there's a lot of nuances around that. I think in the upcoming months, we're going to have a very solid version. We're going through the auditing with some leading auditing players such as Zilliq to do that. 2 days ago, the entire BitVM Alliance, we have a lot of discussion about what's next. So the entire open source approach, working to launching the mainnet of the BitVM verifier, it's not years away, it's just months away. So stay tuned on that. With these two, we can say we are launching the real Bitcoin layer 2, right? There's a lot of definition about layer 2. Most of them just meta protocol side chains. With native rollup and Bitcoin finality, I think that's the key infrastructure we want to deliver, which is very important. On the non-technical side, Bitlayer, I think we are one of the most active team since 2023, has been contributing, educating the space. What is this BVM technology? Why this is huge impact to the space? Why this matters, right? So, as I said, right, the protocol, the bridge, the rollups are a very important kind of piece of technology and product we want to deliver, which can empower all these Bitcoin lending protocols, restaking protocols, on-chain options, all these defined use cases. Gateway for Bitcoin DeFi, right? So as I mentioned, WBTC has been in the space for quite a while. It's a first generation technology, right? It's been there for many years. And if you just think about that, right? Billions of dollars of Bitcoin liquidity just depend on a small segment of federation of signers. And some of them already kind of become ambiguous who's actually the owner of that, right? It's pretty risky, to be honest, right? Because we want to grow this ecosystem. We can't really just fully depend on that. So, and of course, there's like a lot of security hacks in the last couple of weeks, right? Especially the one with Bybit. It's pretty concerning, right? Like just 4 signers, right? Got compromised because the UI, because the Genesis is so safe. $1.5 billion get hacked. So I don't think that's the end game for the industry, right? We need a new technology to make it more trust minimized and make it more secure. There's some kind of midway solutions in the last couple of years. Some team delivered with a one-way pegging POS network to do more trust minimized approach. And we believe the best approach in our knowledge right now, which we're launching, is through the BitVM approach, have the two-way pegging, peg out, which is one out-of-one trust assumption bridging solution. So we have 5 different chains. We are fully integrated now. And we're talking to a lot of other ecosystem. The non-technical impact of this is we want to activate a lot more Bitcoin liquidity through this new bridging to enter different ecosystem. Because we believe there's a lot of amazing yield-bearing products across different ecosystem, not just some small set of Bitcoin sidechains we can tap into. So that's the key impact we want to give to the space. So to put it into 3 different parameters, right? We have security, we have programmability, we have yield. Like these are the 3 parameters we look at across different solutions. So the Bitlayer's BitVM bridge, we want to hit these 3 parameters. High security, deliver decent amount of programmability, and access to different type of yield product across different ecosystem. So that's the vision about why we want to build this product. There's different approaches, have different trade-offs and so on. There's no like one perfect solution fits all, but I think this is a way with this technology we can move the needle quite a bit. So quickly go through the BitVM bridge. There's like plugging users with the Bitcoin script of smart contract natively on chain. There's a broker, there's an operator as a committee. Basically, there's a peg out version of the user, have the unlock the UTXO. This has been fully audited by a lot of firms. A lot of the multiple teams have been launching this with different approaches. I think now it's time to really just get it working, get some Bitcoin users actually working on that. So last 2 months, we have quite a lot of testers have been trying out our bridge. So with that, we can put Bitlayer as an interesting position. It's an important gateway for a lot of ecosystem to access to Bitcoin liquidity, right? So Bitlayer from last year, we were kind of figuring out our position, especially in front of the Ethereum folks. We call ourselves the orange Trojan horse, right? In a way, we were competing with a lot of Ethereum L2s as well. We were trying to get the builders from their ecosystem to have a taste about to build with Bitcoin on us, right? We don't know our synergy with a lot of different like non-EVM L2s as well. Now we have a lot of good synergy with them with our BitVM bridge, right? The architect, we have a long, well-documented details in our GitHub. For people who are interested to read more, feel free to check out. And today, I want to talk more about the journey, right? So, as you know, I'm one of the co-founder of Bitlayer, focusing mostly on the non-tech side. I wish my co-founder Kevin would be here so we can deep dive on the technical details. But I think to build the best Bitcoin ecosystem, there's a lot of important components which is actually outside of the coding itself, right? There's a lot of stakeholders we need to activate and we need to educate. So the journey starts from literally last year here, right? We start educating a lot of the investors and the builders. There's an interesting solution we can deliver, and this new technology, they should look at it. It's not just Lightning. It's not just some ordinary stuff with like Meta protocol. There's more, right? There's DeFi on Bitcoin. This word has been well promoted in the last 6 to 12 months, right? A lot of people get to know, even have a taste of it. we onboarded at least 3 million users to interact our chain across around 200 projects, right? Some of them are very amazing use cases with deeper liquidity and deep transaction already. So it's not like a new word anymore, but I would say it's still very early. There's still a lot of ambiguity about that. The status quo is still on the left, right? A lot of projects are still essentially a sidechain with multi-sig, but getting towards to the things on the left, on the right, right? That's the end game. I wouldn't say end game, but it's an important goal we want to achieve, right? It's like parameter we look at. We want to achieve Bitcoin finality with state transition verified on Bitcoin layer 1. We need to have DA on Bitcoin, maybe not necessarily all on Bitcoin layer 1 because it's going to be very expensive, but maybe working with some Bitcoin aligned DA layer such as Celestia and so on, and supporting different VMs, start from EVM, and in the future support all kinds of high performance virtual machine framework to have higher throughput and performance. So as you can see, it's a lot of technology components on that, especially on the rollups, right? There's a lot of trade-offs on that as well. We've been trying to optimize our architect. We learned a lot of having conversation with a lot of builders, and also learn a lot from the people who give us feedbacks. We're going to focus on bridge because that's a strategy we want to start with to have more product market fit. I think later this year, our V2 launch, we're going to have interesting impact to see how eventually we verify transaction through our Zk stack proof. Those are all kind of upcoming in the vision, right? The real-time VM, we are deeply talking to like Mega East and the Monad team on that. We believe this, parallel kind of high performance VM will maybe unlock some very interesting high frequent kind of Bitcoin use cases on DeFi. So pretty close to on the next milestone already. As you can know, we have quite a lot of interesting traction, which I'm going to share in a minute. So Bitlayer has a lot of interesting growth momentum in the last 12 months. So I think on that part, I've been leading quite a lot in terms of go-to-market strategy. We learned a lot by doing. There's a lot of interesting way we've been learned, and different playbooks we used as well. So this is the Blast playbook I integrated with the Polygon approach as well. We have this ecosystem leaderboards we launched since last May. We sorted out a lot of the interesting projects from the top TBL, top transaction, and the top popularities. This is a real-time data we're tracking with all kinds of use cases. A lot of people get to know and have a very clear overview about our ecosystem in a very simple way. And then after that, we start to think about, okay, how we can help our ecosystem project, right? So, and also how to engage with our user in a more frequent way, right? And also with like data-driven approach. So a lot of people trying to access to our assets, start from our NFT. We have some like real helmet here. We have a very good helmet holder community. They're being like very active user, and they want to learn what is Bitcoin DeFi and so on. So we have this user center. We create some interesting features such as prediction market. While the time prediction market in Poly market was very, very hot, we were one of the first Bitcoin folks to actually build this feature. A lot of our users have been doing interesting bet, on our user center. Use the points, we give to them when they earned from some daily check-ins. So we had a lot of fun to interact with our users, and they did something with like prior to prediction about Bitcoin, the on-chain transactions, TVL prediction, and obviously some of the offline stuff like sports, real-world stuff as well. So that was very interesting to engage with the user base. And then with B2B side, how to help our ecosystem project grow further, right? To help them figure out the go-to-market strategy. So our DApp Center gained quite a lot of traffic and momentum. So that's the way we've been helping a lot of our new onboarded projects to help them figure out how we can bring the users to them. So there's a lot of momentum on the DApp Center with different categories. After we launched the DApp Center, and we figure out, okay, how about we do a more ecosystem aggregator approach to push, and actually get more users, which are non-Bitcoin users, but actually on-chain. So we are one of the first Bitcoin project last year. We did this amazing campaign with OKX Wallet For the people who don't know, OKX is probably the one of the best technical wallet, which is Web3 native, multi-chain. They integrate a lot of meta protocols across runes, ordinals as well. They brought 600,000 users to us. We learned a lot to educate our ecosystem project, how to engage those new users. There was a lot of good feedback, a lot of growth with this campaign. That was basically our mining gala season 1. And after that, we start actually also get our feet out of the door, right? And the completely non-Bitcoin echo chamber. So we were the only Web3 brands actually sponsored this interesting debate. And there was a debate between Bitcoin and gold. We start doing a lot of the global outreaching, extending to different communities. So we were in a lot of non-Bitcoin events as well. We had a very interesting community in Vietnam. A lot of people has been activating, interacting our chain as well. We sponsored all the Bitcoin magazine conferences, trying to talk to the miners who are actually not familiar with other Bitcoin solutions, and also sponsored a lot of the DevRel events. So Bitlayer, we were actually presented in 5 series of the Ethereum MetaMask Builders Night, and trying to gain some mindshare in the Ethereum community as well. So our DevRel actually did a lot of work with some hackathon organizers. So Bitlayer Night, we had a lot of fun with our community members in Vietnam, in Korea, in Singapore, in a lot of the Asian communities. This is the first time we did our Bitcoin Nest in the United States. Hopefully we want to get more and more momentum with our community building in the North American region as well. So yeah, and obviously getting the story out, right? We've been talking to a lot of the Bitcoin media and a lot of the non-Bitcoin media as well. We were featured by Fortune Crypto and quite a lot of interesting media last year. So through all these efforts of getting the things out, building the ecosystem, the traction we have so far is 28 million. This is actually old data. We need to update. We had over 28 million transactions on chain since we launched already. We have over 1 million followers on Twitter, and altogether around 3 million followers. Over 200 projects already deployed on Mainnet. Some of them have huge amount of traction, amazing products, and some of them actually launching their assets, the token NFT as well. And we believe some of them will become very successful projects. So it's a big ecosystem already. We learned a lot by working with them. Some of them are absolutely amazing builders. Building ecosystems is hard. It's not an easy thing. It's actually learning by doing, and because the industry changes so much already. It's a global team. A lot of them are engineers. I wish they can all come on stage to share the hard work they've been putting together. I wish I have clones. I can spend time with our engineers. It's a very engineering-driven, research-driven team. A lot of them based in Singapore and Hong Kong. We are getting more and more team members from the United States as well. And 2025 is a very interesting year. We're talking to a lot of institutions. Great to have Franklin Templeton working with us. We're talking to 21 Shares, Grayscale. It's a very important year to have some interesting Bitcoin yield-bearing products, ETP products, or Bitcoin Trust product. We need to design and working with all the institutions. And getting new users, right? This funding, just one of the important thing, and it was amazing partnership we have with Chainlink, with Nansen, with a lot of the non-Bitcoin folks to enter the Bitcoin ecosystem. The goal for me is I never claim I'm Bitcoin OG. I was actually ETH guy. I was early in Polkadot. I built a lot of things with Polygon, and our teams built a lot of ZK rollups before, did research with Celestia as well. We never claim we're Bitcoin laser eyes, and we try to provide value to the Bitcoin miners and the OGs who have been sitting on the Bitcoin doing nothing in the last 10 years, right? We're very well connected with all the top Bitcoin miners, especially a lot from Asia, because of our relationship with Huobi and so on. So a lot of Bitcoin folks have very little knowledge about all this interesting innovation on Bitcoin ecosystem. So I think our goal is not just stay in this small Bitcoin echo chamber, but actually expand this mindshare and outreach to a lot of the non-Bitcoin folks. Everybody know what is Bitcoin, but a lot of people don't know there's all this potential on Bitcoin. I think that's kind of the vision of Bitlayer in the next 2 or 3, 5 years, and we're going to keep doing that. Last 12 months, as you can see, we have done a lot, probably done more than a lot of other teams what they could do in 12 months. But yeah, the journey continues. There's going to be interesting news I'm going to announce. I want to reserve that in maybe 3 hours later for the people who want to stick together, because we have an amazing panel, amazing speakers to get on stage. With that, without further ado, we'll come to the next panel. Thank you very much.